Okay. All right. Wait here. It was
All
some.
right, that was going on forever. What the heck was going
was,
on? I didn't even.
so let me explain. Let me explain. I got a new computer,
Explain yourself.
new
Explain
pro-
yourself, young man.
new computer, new production, and the guy didn't even say his thing. He didn't even say, "This is the Cash Flow Show with Dave Seymour and Nathan Amaral." It didn't
Fire him.
even
He's
happen.
fired. Get him out of here. Get him out of here. He's
He's
fired. Wherever
fired.
he is.
He's done.
Oh God.
He's
Hold on. I'm
done.
gonna have a cup of tea. Hold
Oh,
on.
there you
Tea
go.
time.
Oh, it's tea time. It's tea time for you. Speaking of tea time, let me tell you something. When I
Yeah.
was just in Florida, as we both were. More on that in
Yep.
just a second. And while I was over on the west side of Florida, I started, went to the driving range with my dad, and we started hitting. I said, how come I never did more of this? Like, why did I never really, like, I've never hit an 18. You ever been on an 18 hole golf course? You ever golfed an 18 hole?
Dude. Yeah, I got sober on an 18-hole golf course. If it wasn't for golf, I'd be drunk. I did. I went golfing with my boys. That's it, man. We used to get up at like 5 in the morning and just
Really?
hang out, have some good bro time. Yeah, I played. I
Really?
played. I went to Birkenhead, right in the Carolinas,
Okay.
which is like the golf capital of the world.
Yeah.
And I got off a plane. I played 36, went to bed, got up, played 36,
Wow.
36, went to bed, got up, played 18, got on a plane and went home. How you doing?
Gosh.
Yeah. So
Oh,
you
so
enjoyed it, huh?
so you golf then? You've been doing this for a while.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Wow.
I'm like a 2 handicap.
I don't know what that means.
My.
I don't know
Yeah,
what
it
that
means.
is. But I've done driving ranges my whole life. Like, it's kind of been, I don't think there's a year that's passed by where I wasn't on a driving range. I just, something I did every once in a while. But when I
Yeah.
was there, I was like, I think I should really get into this. And so I literally just got back from a golf course here on the island, and I'm gonna sign up. Me and my few buddies of mine, we're gonna go through. I'm gonna get some lessons because I've never done it before, and
Yeah.
get familiar with it. Yeah.
Look, and that came from me drinking a cup of tea, and you went tea time golf, right? That's how that all
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah.
Just want
Yeah.
to make sure we understand the
Oh wow.
we understand.
That comment's
Uh-oh,
very
can't hear me
wide.
very well. My mic isn't working.
Oh, you
Let
want?
me
We're gonna do a mic check. He'll do a do a mic. Let me organize this.
what? Thank you for saying so, Dustin.
I can hear you. I can hear you a
Hold on.
little, but
Dustin, turn your computer up. I'm having some shit going on.
that's the solution. Turn it
See how I
up.
do that?
Turn it up.
I wouldn't even know where to go
It's
to
all right.
adjust this
I
thing.
can. I mean, I can hear you, but you know me in audio. I've always had a gripe with your audio. So it is what it is.
Yeah, I've got this big fancy looking phallic thing sitting here, and it's like it
Phallic.
doesn't even work.
Speaking of
Like a
speak,
huge welly.
It's a huge one. Speaking of Florida, since we were both down there, kind of the topic of today, topic of the day: power of masterminds, power of groups, and coming together. Dave and I got to spend some time together. Man, it's been how long since we embraced? Like
Yeah, too long, too long. Yeah, you're
at
funny.
least.
Like I wanted to do the hit and run embrace, and you wouldn't let me. You're like, hold on a minute, bring it in, bros. Hug a little longer. That was so good,
Well,
man.
dude, it's been
So
like
good.
I think
Yeah.
it's been like 3 years since we last saw each other in person. So it's been a
Yeah, you
while
came up and hung out. Yeah, you came out and hung out at the house.
at the
I don't know what
house.
you're doing in Boston, but
Yeah, but that was a number of years ago. Yeah, like
oh
three
yeah,
years
at
ago.
least 3 years ago.
Yeah, it's
At least
crazy.
3 years ago. So
Ugh.
let's debrief that a little bit,
Yeah.
because you know what's funny? You're gonna love this. You
All
ready,
right.
Nathan?
Yeah.
Watch this. You're gonna crack up, brother. Ready?
All right. What did that come from? You got a hardcover and everything.
What what page is Mastermind? What page is it, man?
It's chapter
What
9.
page is it?
It's chapter 9. I don't know the
Chapter nine.
page, but I know the chapter. I know the chapter.
Yeah, I couldn't even find the chapter if I needed to. Look at this, hardbound,
Oh my
all
gosh,
fancy, fancy on the
yeah.
inside.
It looks
Yeah.
brand new. You just
So
picked it up or something? It looks beautiful. I see it. Yeah.
well, you know what's funny? You know how I got this?
Wow.
Is I joined a mastermind group. The
Really?
guy who runs the yeah, straight up. I'm
Yeah.
standing here in front of this microphone that doesn't work very well. I I joined a mastermind group, and the guy that runs the group sent out a nice hard copy of Think and Grow Rich, and
Really?
the fundamentals of masterminding,
Yeah.
which is really just networking on steroids, right?
Right.
That's
Right.
really what a mastermind is, networking on steroids. He sent that out to all the new members. So
Nice.
every time I talk about Think and Grow Rich, or
Yeah.
I read a page or two,
Right.
I always think of my man Nate Dogg, Nate the
Yeah, man.
Amaral.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
great
keeping it
read.
real.
It's a great read. I mean, that's a book that I've combed through so many times over the years, and then I don't know. It's timeless. It's timeless.
Right,
And
right. It's a case of you know what it is. It's like it's the fundamentals, right?
yeah,
It's
fundamentals. Yeah,
because the philosophy behind it hasn't really changed that much, right?
right.
What you think about is what you bring about.
Hmm.
You're only as good as the people that you surround yourself with.
Yeah,
You know, 10 like minds are more powerful than one. So why don't you get together, collaborate rather than compete?
absolutely.
It's like all of that stuff
No,
is the same.
no,
So walk me through your group.
well,
What was the
yeah,
goal coming in? Because this was your first one, and I really enjoyed being there.
absolutely.
Cool environment.
Yeah, absolutely. So, this just came out of, it just came out of demand and need in the marketplace. I've been
Yeah.
in multiple masterminds over the years in different capacities, different industries, from real estate and marketing, and actually, it was just something that we knew that our close peers and some of our clients needed. They just wanted to be in they needed something higher than what they've done. So, in order to be in the mastermind, you have to close over 25 deals, and
Right.
they needed something more. They need something more granular, especially when it came to marketing, automation, and systems, and to how to scale the business. So that's where the creation of it came around. But we still incorporated the whole. I mean, I haven't swam too far away from the beach, Dave, when it comes to fear, right, and becoming fearless. The
Right.
the acronym is FEAR, which is face everything and achieve. I always forget this. I know I should know, but I always say achieve results, but it's like face everything and rise. So the core of it is just to identify what your weaknesses are, and build on your strengths. So we go through tests like not personality tests, but we go through like psychology tests. We understand who we are. We then say, okay, the stuff I'm not good at, I need to delegate. And then get around other people who are doing better than we are. Let's not be the smartest person in the room. Let's be around other people who are doing really great things and learn from each other. That's the core element of it.
I tell you, it was interesting to walk into that mastermind, and I appreciate you having me down there as as a guest speaker at the first one. First of all, honored, right, to
Yeah,
be there.
absolutely.
Um, it was good. It was really good. It, there was that one gentleman that was speaking. I went to the back of the room there, the audio room in the mansion,
Yeah.
and he was presenting up the front, and it amazed me how first of all, having 25 plus deals was a criteria to be there, and then to see third party disinterested looking from a distance at his business, how much value, I mean, you and I could bring that one guy
Mm-hmm.
in systematizing some of the challenges he had when he put up his kind of like brain dump on a piece of paper,
Yeah.
following following all of his private investors,
Right.
through his mental funnel system, which
Uh-huh.
wasn't automated, was horrendous. I mean,
Yeah.
I think about the amount of capital that we manage, in our private equity fund. If I had it all written on the back of a napkin, I'd go to jail. You know what I mean? So it's it's interesting. It's interesting to see how when you step outside and just give it an overlook of what somebody else is doing,
Yeah.
and at the same time learn what they do well, and maybe implement what they're doing in your business. So
That's true.
what was your feedback? Did you get good feedback? Did you
Man,
do
it
like
went.
a questionnaire on the way out?
We did actually. We did at the end of the event. We did a survey, and we wanted to find out,
Yeah.
did it meet your expectations, or did it surpass your expectations? Everyone said it surpassed their expectations. What was really important to us also was some people who have been in other masterminds, and there was
Yeah.
two of our members who have been in other masterminds. One left their mastermind to join this one. That was impressive.
Yeah.
They're like, I'm done with the other one. This is how it should be. And another gentleman who has been in various masterminds over the years said, I have never been, he's like, this has been the best mastermind I've ever been to, and I can see where this is going.
Wow.
Yeah, and so we just want quality. And again, Dave, not to, because I know you're here, but I would say this to even if you weren't on, if we weren't talking to you right now, but like the kind of quality that you bring to the table is not like the rest. It's just, it's like that a step higher. And that's what we're really looking for. Yeah. We're really looking for the people who are genuine, who are, and that's what everybody said about you, by the way. They're like, wow, Dave was so like real, and he literally broke everything down. And that is, and you're great at that, not just from a speaking perspective, but the way you deliver and the way you break it all down for them, like live, was impressive. I could tell they were really enamored by you. They were like, whoa, this is on another level. So
I'm not very good at taking
compliments.
Those comments. So here I go with the deflection.
Yeah, yeah.
How to deflect. What could you have done better?
Yeah, I think what we could have done better was getting the timing. This was a very we've talked about it for quite some time. I think if we had another month or two, I bet we could have had more people in the room. But that's what was our thoughts. Like, we could have had more people. However, we don't want to go so big. Like, we don't want to be huge. Like, we want to be an intimate group of high valued players, and that come together on a regular basis. So when you mentioned earlier about the mansion, that's how we want it. We want not only it to be like a dream location, like, oh, one day me. Like, I'll give you a good example in the dream sense. I made the decision right then and there that in my future home, wherever that is, like 10, 15 years from now, because I'm not no building no home anytime soon. But when I did that, I wanted a movie theater. Immediately, I just thought of it. I was like, that's a desire. Maybe someone else in the room thought the same thing. Like maybe their personal residence got taken to another level. Beyond the physical location, it was just the intimacy. People were able more to relax and open up and share with each other, rather than, oh, I gotta go, oh, it's over, let me go to my hotel room, or
You know what it was.
What's
What it
that?
was. I felt like I was in an episode of that TV show where they all live in the house together. What the heck was that show
Well, like
on
big,
MTV?
MTV Cribs.
Big Brother.
Oh, Big Brother, yeah,
Like
yeah,
Big Brother.
yeah,
It felt like Big Brother for entrepreneurs.
yeah,
It was unique. It
yeah.
really was unique because with a smaller group like that, 15, whatever it was, 10, 15, 20 peeps,
Hmm.
you were really, and I don't want to use the word forced in a negative sense. You were forced into networking. You were forced into building relationships.
Yeah, yeah,
Otherwise, you're sitting in the corner with your back against the wall,
yeah,
not participating,
right.
and nobody's going to allow that anyway. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
exactly.
So
It gave no opportunity really for people to like just get up and scoot out, or they were in the same environment. And everybody loved it though. They loved it. Some people said that was their favorite part, like some of it.
So I'll give you two examples of masterminds, right?
Yeah.
So the mastermind that I joined, these guys here, right?
Hmm.
This mastermind,
Yeah.
really good if you want to be in and out, in and out, in and out. Right? If you want to, show up for maybe one speaker and then go network somewhere else. Really good if you're in the info marketing space. Really good if you want resources to build teams.
Mm.
I think what part of a mastermind does that is incredibly beneficial and at the same time
Mm.
not so beneficial is its referral system, right?
Mm.
So what I mean by that is just because somebody within your mastermind group makes a referral, is it necessarily the very best service for your need, right?
Mm.
So the reason I'm bringing that up is to say to anybody who's paying attention to us, all three of them, 3,000 of them. Sorry, I can never count that high. But no, seriously, to people who listen and pay attention to some of the nuggets that we put out there,
Yeah.
is that no matter what your commitment is to a mastermind group, to a networking group, always do your due diligence. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Always, cover all of the bases before the execution. So
That's
that's
very
one
true.
side of the mastermind as a receiver, if you will. What's interesting is on the other side of the mastermind, I did a presentation, I think it was Wednesday of this week, to a retired professional athletes mastermind group,
Mm.
um, which was really interesting. There's a couple of ex-MLB pitchers in there who I've got to know pretty well, Michael Connor and Craig Hansen. Craig
Mm.
Hansen pitched for the Sox,
Okay.
and Mike O'Connor. I got no idea who Mike pitched for. I hope he never hears this episode. He won't be my buddy anymore. But I know Mike was a closer. I know that he came in, in the ninth and wrapped up the game for the
Yeah.
team. But it was interesting to be in that room because, although first of all, I had to earn credibility to present to that mastermind group. Number
Mm.
one,
Mm.
and then number two, being very succinct on what your messaging is and why you were there. Look, everybody knows I raise capital.
Yeah.
Everybody has a perception that professional athletes have money to invest,
Mm.
which isn't necessarily true because
True.
a lot of professional athletes have not done so well with money management.
True.
But what was so cool about, and the reason I'm bringing this up again is masterminds in general. What was so very cool about that presentation was I do the presentation. There was I think there's maybe 60 people in the mastermind, and consistently 10 people show up for the monthly,
Mm.
webinar. Right?
Okay.
They used to do it face to face,
Yeah.
so it has a very low turnout, which is common, by the way.
Mm.
It's common for people to join a mastermind and then not reap the rewards of it. But anyway,
Mm.
I got maybe 10, 15 people on the call. I do my presentation, educational. I use my offerings as education tools, not to raise capital. Here's an example of a deal we did, blah, 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 numbers. Here's an example of a deal that we have on deck right now. We're going to close in April. Here's the numbers. I'd already taught them the fundamentals of underwriting, showed them why it was necessity. And as I did with your group, I presented along the basis of two things. One, how do you raise money,
Mm.
right? Is your client hungry for the food that you have to offer them?
Right.
And if not, can you create that hunger, right, through challenging their perception of what's normal? And then the other thing I presented to them was the deal structure, etc. So it was interesting. At the end of it, there was a gentleman who connected with me offline,
Mm.
and we got a call on Wednesday of next week with a local bank in Florida that wants to,
Nice.
the comment was, offer stupid low interest money because all they want are the deposit accounts for the company. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
And
Right.
it's like you never know what the what the outcome is going to be, because
That's so
we're
true.
looking at some pretty substantial deals now, like 100 doors, 300 doors,
Mm.
400 doors. There's a lot of bigger deals on deck for us right now. So, masterminds are critical. They're key.
Yeah.
If you talk to any successful entrepreneur, businessman, or woman, they are absolutely involved in some kind of networking or entrepreneurial environment. Whether it's
Yeah.
the young CEOs club, the
Mm-hmm.
YPO, young professionals.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's I know that some of the heavy hitters I've met over the Jack Canfield.
Yeah.
All the guys that were on the show The Secret,
Mm-hmm.
they have their own speakers and influencers mastermind group that they do.
Yeah.
So it's commonplace for us to either give or participate in a mastermind environment.
Well, I think you bring up a good point when you said the word give, right? I mean, a lot of people think like the mastermind breaks down the whole barrier like competition is bad. Competition is like healthy, right? And
it's collaboration.
It's collaboration.
It's collaborate.
Yeah.
It's not competition. It's collaboration.
Exactly. Sure. And I think on a celebrity status, Bill Gates, Steve Jobs is a good example of that. And there's so many others. But what's so powerful in a mastermind is, when you're sharing what's working and what's not working, you're enlightening each other on
Sure.
maybe what to avoid and maybe what to apply in your own business. And it's not about, oh, he's doing that. And no, it's like you're learning from each other. And that's what I think a lot of people miss out on. They really do. They think like, oh, how can I outsmart that guy or be better? But when you collaborate, which we know many people do in the industries, in masterminds, is that collaboration really can help, really, make things happen.
Let me ask you a question,
Mm,
okay? And I'm genuinely interested in your thoughts on this. So, mastermind, mentorship,
mm,
both,
different.
one or the other, or which one first?
That's a great question. I've actually been telling people this pretty emphatically, like, with a lot of passion in my voice. I even said it at the event, okay, at the mastermind. I said, no more seminars. And I said it specifically. I said, because there's a certain level that when you're at, you shouldn't go backwards. Now, don't get me wrong, there's people who are looky-loos and speculation going on. They're going to go to a seminar. But after you've closed 25 deals, you don't need any more seminars. And I say the first step is coaching, mentorship. You need the mentorship first, and then mastermind. Because the mentorship is where you can get that one-on-one to help tweak specific things in your business to make it better, to take you to that next level. Then as you grow and you're in a mastermind, you can even be around your peers who are doing very similar things, or on similar levels or at higher or lower levels, but at least you're actually active in doing things. You could actually, even pick up a mentor at a mastermind, right?
Yeah.
I even think that's possible, right? Because there's some people who are doing more than others. And
Yeah,
but
no, I
I
like it. I like it. And look, here's the other thing too with
mhm.
what you're throwing out there. I'm looking at our banner, Fearless Millionaire, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Guess what? It's a lot easier to face false evidence appearing real, FEAR,
hmm,
false evidence or education appearing real.
yeah,
It's a lot easier to overcome those, defeat them, or at least stick them in a corner somewhere where they don't interfere your progress
right,
if you're doing it with a mentor who's already been through it, or with a mastermind group that's there to support you.
yeah.
It's just, yeah, it's interesting. It's
Yeah.
interesting how that works,
I
for
think
sure,
it's I
for
think
sure.
it's I think I look at it at this point, it's the way to hack the human mind, how to get past our habits that keep us behind, right? I mean, how many times, Dave, I mean, you probably can think of at least one or two, but how many times have you thought in your mind, this is years ago, where you're like, "Oh, I think I should go to that seminar." Because you
Yeah,
lacked something. You felt like you lacked
yeah,
something. So you made that
yeah,
decision, you went sat in those seats, right?
yeah.
And but at the end of the day, it's almost like we don't need more ideas. We need a kick in the ass to implement what we already kind of know,
Yeah,
and
could you imagine? Could you imagine you and I going and sitting in a seminar today?
can't. I can't. I can't even sit in a seminar anymore. I
No, we'd
can't.
rip them apart.
I
We would
can't.
rip them apart from the
Yeah.
audience. We would
Yeah.
we would ruin their day. We
I
would absolutely
I'd be
ruin their
calling
day.
them out on stage. I can't. I
Yeah,
can't even do it.
yeah.
Even in a new
Oh my God.
topic, I can't even do it in a new topic. If I was to say, "Oh, I'm going to go learn about biochemistry," I'm going to go sit in a seminar. I
Looking for it.
can't do it. Coaching
Yeah,
or mentoring, mastermind.
yeah,
Mentoring, mastermind.
yeah. If I want to learn options trading, I'm going straight to Andy Tanner, right?
Right.
Phenomenal guy,
Yeah.
great mentor, great coach.
Right.
I just no, I'm with you 100%. I'm
Yeah.
with you. Hey, you want to talk about real estate? You want to
I
do
do
some
want
real
to talk
estate?
about real estate. Yes. You mentioned earlier $200, $300. But what I am, okay, forget about how many doors. What I'm really enjoying about this next deal of the week is the location.
Oh, it's nice.
Dun, dun,
It's
dun. Well,
very
I
nice.
say it's nice because I'm saying it's nice. Oh, where'd you go? I lost you.
I'm. What do you mean you lost me? I'm right here.
I know, but see. Oh, there we go. Now I got you. See, it's
There I
all the
am.
all the
There
new
I am.
all the new software things going on. No,
Oh, you can even see my T-shirt now.
Oh, we
Look at
can see
that.
the
Huh?
T-shirt now. There you go. Looking grandiose right there.
That's right.
Um,
I got a bunch of those. Maybe we should have some giveaways like we did with the hats. It's all
we
good.
should have
What are you
some
doing?
giveaways.
Don't move me around.
I'm
What
just
are you
trying
doing?
to I'm just trying to adjust us a little bit. How's that? While we're here.
So good. So good. So this is interesting. It's Sarasota Bradenton Market, which is a fantastic marketplace for us.
Hmm.
It's it's given us the ability to flex our muscles a little bit in the marketplace.
Yeah.
Now, this is not a project that will fit the fund structure. Um, we're in acquisition negotiations on this thing now. It's not under contract or anything like that. We do have an LOI in, and we're talking. I need to be incredibly cognizant of our NDA, so I'm going to talk very, very high level,
Okay.
big picture on this property. But basically, it's another mismanaged asset. It's practically brand new. Um, it hasn't met its rental income requirements, and its expenses are a challenge. So, looking at those two parameters on this property, at a very conservative buy-in of 42.25 million, we're very
Million.
bullish. Yeah, we're very bullish on reducing the expense ratio below the 40% margin, which is where we want to be on an asset this size. The economies of scale play into this thing dramatically because it's such a larger asset. Um, Increasing rents delicately and with finesse is what our management team would do with this property. Because when we look at the 5 mile radius in comp on rents, about $100 a unit below. So when you start looking at that in net operating income increase, it gets to be a pretty juicy deal going forward.
Mhm.
So on this particular property, I think we agreed on a 48-month exit with a capital call. Well, not a capital call, but an investment call with the group that comes in. This, by the way, is probably going to be a 1 or 2 check rider. This
Mm.
isn't necessarily going to be for the accredited investor to come in on something of this size.
Okay.
We're looking at these larger assets because our institutional partners have said we've got check riders who are looking for these.
Okay.
Their yield tolerance on this is kind of interesting. Their preferred returns in these kinds of assets are actually lower. Their pref is around 4.5, 5 on some of these larger assets, which is kind of interesting. Their preferred rate
Yeah.
of return.
Yeah.
But because of the identification of the mismanagement on this asset and the rent increase in place, um, it becomes a substantially better deal for the investors on the back end of this. So we're looking at an average cash on cash bump on this deal at 12 and a quarter. The IRR, the hold valuation of the capital in it is 22% targeted out. And then their equity multiple is coming in at 1.8. So, the investors are going to put up, well, we've got 2 on deck right now. One might just take it all out with no leverage, and the other might do a 50% leverage on it. So we'll wait and see. So,
Yeah.
the equity multiple is a big picture on our average underwriting pro formas, but that could be a lot different if we've got a larger takeout on the
Mm.
acquisition. So
Tip-
I'm excited to see this one go down. I'm going down to Tampa in a couple of weeks, and I'm going to be walking this property and taking a peek myself.
Yeah, typically, when you talk about the large institutions buying these types of assets, they typically range anywhere between that like 3 and 5% on average, right?
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Well, but why?
I
Like,
had a couple.
I'm not a finance major in any way, but like
No,
when they run the numbers, I mean, it
I'm
must
not.
be so a safe, secure investment.
So look, the bond market is a negative yield in comparison to the projected inflation numbers that are out there, right?
Hmm.
So if anybody wanted a consistent return with ultimate safety, they used to go to the bond market. I mean, back in the
Yeah.
day, the bond market was 5%.
Right.
Well, the bond market is now below 1% last
Yeah.
time I checked.
It's trash.
So where the hell are they going to go? Well, they go where the intelligent investors have been going for generations
Hmm.
is
Hmm.
to into real estate, right?
Yeah.
So these are what they call the workhorse of capital, right? It's where money goes for a longer period of time and works consistently at a return ratio that makes sense for the amount of money going in.
Hmm.
So if you look at it and you say, okay, I've got 100 million and I want to deploy that in one time, then they're okay deploying it at a 3 to 5% yield because they really don't have the safety and security with that yield, targeted yield prospectus in any other investment other than commercial real estate. If
True.
somebody's got somewhere where you can show where I can be a steward of capital, I can hedge the downside and accelerate the upside at a 12% targeted cash on cash return. Show me where
Show
that
me.
investment is, and I'll be doing that instead. Because I've yet to find it. It's not freaking Bitcoin. It's not gold. It's not silver. They're going to rise and fall over time, whereas real estate is consistently going to go up in value over time if properly managed.
Right.
So that's why the story is always invest with the right GPs as much as invest in the right asset. Because if you don't have a good partner like us to execute on the business plan, everything's a waste of time, if you will. Does that make
Well,
sense?
yeah, it definitely makes sense. And I want to bring up an element up for our audience who watch the cash flow show, because when you're at the mastermind, there are people who are like thinking about getting into commercial real estate. But then when you started presenting, the fund and how it works to them, they were actually like, oh, so I can still operate my business, but yet still be an investor in this commercial real estate game.
Right,
And
right.
yeah, that makes it made a lot more sense for them, and where people can just invest passively into the fund.
Yeah, I'm trying to send you a one pager to show what it looks like at the retail level. Hold on a
Okay,
second. Let me see if I can pull this up. Yeah, I think I can. I'll
sure.
send it to you in Messenger, and then you can
Okay,
jump on it from there.
okay.
So there you go. Let's
Well, you remember those sounds,
pull that one
Dave?
up.
Remember those sounds?
Yeah, I tell you, man. Every time I hear them go by, I'm like, go get them, fellas. So I just sent you a nice clean one-page investment outline for the 81 units that we're closing on in a couple of weeks.
Okay.
I'm pretty confident that this is already subscribed. These deals don't last
Mm-hmm.
too long,
Mm-hmm.
but this is Lake County.
Mm.
I don't know how much of that they can see with our faces on there. Oh, there you go. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is Lake County. It's 81 units. We've been talking about this. The equity position, as you can see, top left-hand corner is a $3 million raise. There's existing debt on there, but the debt combined with an assumable loan and a new loan comes in at 4.3 mil and some change. We've got about 527 in capital improvements on this property, and then the transaction costs of 258. So that's the 2 points for putting this deal together.
Mm-hmm.
But as you can see on this one page, the targeted internal rate of return on this 21.6 cash on cash average comes out at just under 11%, and then the equity multiple 1.7. This is only a 3-year hold. So we're going to go in, we're going to reposition some of the tenant base, reposition some of the assets, do the capital improvements.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically individual AC units in each of the cinder block apartments in the 55 unit complex. The 26 unit complex is pretty much squared away over at Oak Grove. That's just fluff and buff in and out, lease up a couple of empties. But when you put one of these presentations together, the investors want to see the numbers. We're increasing the net operating income on this thing 48,480.
Mm.
We expect that to be completed, like the NOI increase completed in 11 months as we lease out, lease in. In Florida, a 12-month lease is the longest that can be enforced on both sides of the equation. So what that allows us to do is to, take a look at these challenges going forward, and then, reposition how and when we need to during that 11-month period. So in the market cap rate of a 6.5%, you can see on the last sentence there above the map, we're conservatively going to increase the value of this thing by 750,000, 745,000 based on the cap rate in the market because of the net operating income increase. So, it's, I don't want to minimize the amount of work that goes into any one of these. This is just one of many, right?
Yeah.
But, it's almost a legal way of printing money. This is workforce housing, no bells and whistles, nothing out of the ordinary, So,
Right.
just nice, solid returns on nice, solid, it's not even sticks and bricks down there. It's
Yeah,
CBS,
it's CVS. Yeah,
cinder block and stucco
yeah, yeah.
construction, right? The
I got a
bucket.
question. I got a question for you about the raise on. So, what are you looking? You're looking for, or what's remaining for what you need on this one, and maybe how people can participate.
Look, if you are interested in this, we can put you in a position where, look, there's always people that fall out. We haven't put this out to our investor
Mm,
team yet.
hmm.
We brought in another syndicator to come in a co-GP position. They've just finished their document subscription documents. We as a company are putting up 10% of that equity, so it's really a 2.7 raise.
Okay.
There's potential. There's potentially 850, 900,000 of that could be filled.
Okay.
Based on drop off, etc. It's for accredited investors only. If you do want to participate in this deal and you like the idea, then go to info at freedomventure.com. Info at freedomventure.com. You can see that on the bottom of the sheet. And put in your information. One of our team members will just touch gloves with it, make sure that you're qualified to invest, and then we'll talk about your capital, your capital contribution. We expect a capital call in 3 weeks. So if you are interested in investing with us, you might want to pull your finger out of your ear. And you thought I was going to say something else.
Yeah.
Pull your finger out of your ear and ask some questions. Or you can call us at 781-922-4418. See what it looks like to align yourself with us. Well, we're doing a lot. Maybe not on this particular deal, but it's potentially a way to go is to look at your retirement accounts. If you already have a self-directed retirement account, then you will have enough time to invest in this asset. If you don't have enough time, if you don't have a self-directed account already set up, you might not meet the deadline to come into this deal. But if you share a genuine interest with us, then we'll put you on deck for the next deal that comes down the pike. So there's always opportunities if you want to align yourself with us going forward.
Absolutely good stuff. I
Yeah,
love
brother.
I love the area. I mean, it's a booming area. When I was just down there,
That's where you are. You got one there, right?
I'm
You got a
down
city?
there, yeah, and I was taking a drive all around the area. It's amazing how much is being built. Like,
Mm-hmm.
whoa! And the opportunity down there is on fire. I also found out that there's over 900 to 1,000 people moving to Florida a day right now.
1,500.
1,500. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That is insane. I've never.
And they all need somewhere to live, and they
Yeah,
all need
housing.
workforce support, etc., etc. It's all good. It's all
Yeah,
good.
wow, that's good stuff. Well, good stuff. All right, that's a great deal. Another
All
great
right,
deal.
brother.
Another great deal. I would,
For
I,
sure.
I would have our outro music, but I can't find it right now because this
No
is a new
worries.
system. But we could just play it in our heads. But everybody, thanks so
Yeah,
much
brother.
for watching our show, the Cash Flow Show with Dave and Nate. And we will see you next week, same time, right here. Take care.